We're live.
Hi guys, it's Chris and Tab here, Back Porch Chronicles. Being what time it is today, I don't, in the daytime, we're usually on in the evening, but we have kind of a special one we're doing today. So we're going to give a few minutes to see if people start joining us, and then we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about why we chose to do it today in the afternoon instead of in the evening. So it's going to be a little bit of a different kind of live feed. It's not going to have all the humor in it, but
and it's on a back porch, but not our back porch. That's different.
it is on a back porch, but it is not on our back porch. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
There's 3 people I think already on there.
Brenda and John and Roger. Hey guys, glad that you guys could join us today. I don't know how many of you guys. Well, I know Brenda is a regular. She gets on often on our Back Porch Chronicles little adventures that we go on and do here live in the evening. But today it's a little bit different, and we're just gonna give everybody a little bit of time to get logged on and join us.
Get joined. Brenda says she can never hear us.
Sorry, Brenda. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I see some hearts flying up there. I don't know who the hearts are. Maybe Roger Horton. Not sure. I don't know.
I wish I could I can't wear my sunglasses because they're polarized and then I won't be able to see the screen, so.
It's the craziest thing. I never realized that worked like that till I got polarized glasses. Look, Dina joined us.
Hi, Dina.
Can you hear us, Dina? We got a thumbs up and some fireworks going on from Dina there. So that's cool. She must be able to hear us.
Today I have some notes I have to read from, so I'll be looking down a lot, but I'm still listening.
She's always listening. She's got that listening ear going because, well, you never know. You just never know. How can I instigate Chris if I can't hear you? That's what Brenda wants to know. And Dina says she can hear us, and Brenda wants to know how can she instigate if she can't
Brenda,
hear
you
us.
can instigate us tonight because we'll be on. I'm sure we'll be on our regular little themed live feed. Today's kind of a special day that Chris and I wanted to get together and do something a little bit different on our live feed today. We've both had in the last couple of months we have a lot of friends that have military sons and daughters, and in our group of friends and friends that we know outside of our group, we have quite a few friends that have lost loved ones to PTSD. That became one of the 22 a day. And Chris and I get involved in a lot of veteran stuff, and we really write a lot for the 22, and we are out there. Chris did 22 push-ups for the challenge when we went through, where was that, Chris?
Gosh, we did it across the part of the country. We did the Hoover Dam. We did 22 push-ups on top of the Hoover Dam. We did 22 push-ups a mile from the canyon floor at the Grand Canyon. Debbie Boyd and I did push-ups on top of the train in Roseburg at the park. So we did the 22 push-up challenge. And veterans stuff is really close to both our hearts. We've done quite a bit of veterans work, and I think part of the reason why it's really important to me is because, you know, I screwed up early on and so I could never serve, but this is one of the ways that we can serve those who serve for our country, because without those veterans serving and fighting and doing what they do, we definitely wouldn't have the country that we live in today. You know, the United States of America is an amazing place to live, where we have amazing freedoms that they just don't have in other countries. And regardless of what your political view is, or your religious view, or your color, or anything else, you know, we all live in the same land, and we all live in a place where we have absolutely amazing liberties and amazing freedoms, and that is because of our veterans. We don't owe, other than to God, we don't owe those freedoms to anybody else. So
I'm gonna try to. Can you put in Francis there?
we're gonna try to tag some people. Search.
Well, you're not friends with Francis, so it says invite friends. Oh, well, he said there. It's it, invite there.
Invite.
There we go. Okay.
So anyway, so that's why, you know, for me, that's why I do what I do when it comes to veterans, and I think that I think Tabitha does it for the same reason, because we just have amazing freedoms, and we live in an amazing country, and we owe it all 100% to our veterans.
We do. And to the families that sacrifice so much with their loved ones being overseas or cross country or wherever, when they have decided to give that sacrifice and actually give to our country, and they go and do this, and they've left a lot of families behind that they can only talk to through mail or internet, FaceTime. Thank God we have that now. But it's, for us, we know we have a lot of friends that, I'm sorry, I can't see with my polarized glasses. We have a lot of friends, and they're in the military. So, why we're here today, why we chose today.
We chose today to do this, to do this particular live feed today, is because we're dedicating this to Jordan Blake Johnson. It was 3 years ago today that Jordan became one of the 22. And we're good friends with his mom, and we wanted to do this to honor the family and to honor Jordan.
There's just so much that goes behind the 22, and when you're not involved in it and you see it from afar and you see it on Facebook, you might see it on the TV, and you hear there's 22 veterans a day lose their life to PTSD. It's so much deeper than that. They've had struggles, and they've left their families behind, and a lot of times, sometimes they think that they're actually just doing somebody a favor, and that's not really the case. And it takes all of us, everybody, servicemen, veterans, patriots, anybody out there. It takes the world to come together to save those 22 every day. So I would really encourage you guys. I know everybody knows a veteran, and I know most people know a serviceman. When you guys start thinking about your friend that's a veteran, don't stop there. Pick up the phone and call him and just ask him, how are you today? You don't know what people's struggles are, especially those veterans. They've sacrificed so much, and they go through so many things that we could never imagine. But when you just think about your veteran friend, pick up your phone, give them a call, and just say, how are you? If you don't have their phone number, but you might know where they work or where they live or where they have lunch or have coffee, make sure you stop and just check on them, because sometimes you could be that lifesaver. They've sacrificed a lot for you and I, and for everybody, and it's the least thing that we can do for them and their families. If you are a veteran or a serviceman struggling, there's never be ashamed to reach out.
No.
Everybody loves you, and we all appreciate you and thank you for your service. And the world is a better place with each one of you in it. So don't feel bad. Make sure you reach out. Talk about it. There's the phone number I'm just going to put out there right now.
It's the phone number for the Veteran Suicide Hotline. And if you don't have somebody you know that you can call and talk to, you always can call Tabitha or I, or message us. 24 hours a day we answer. But if you don't know somebody you can talk to, you can always call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, and that's the phone number for the Veteran Suicide Hotline.
If you aren't comfortable with calling that, just pick up the phone and call a friend. You might not think that they would understand, and sometimes they might not, but you know what? They're going to talk, and they're going to listen to you, and it's really our responsibility to reach out to the veterans. And 22 a day, that's a lot. That's a lot of veterans, and it really doesn't need to be that way. We need to really just reach out and be there for each other.
It's 22 too many. It's 22 too many. There's a lot of great organizations out there. We got some on the live feed right now. The AWR family's on here, and I think there's some other ones on here.
I'm actually just pulling up something today that I received from Jordan's mom, and I'm probably not going to be able to read it. I'll have to have Chris read it, because y'all don't want to see me break down, because it's all I've been doing for hours and hours today. It's just really hit me hard. But I'm going to find it, because I think it's really important to hear his mom's heart pour out, and especially today, we want to, like I said, Jordan was an amazing, amazing man, and he dedicated, you know, right after high school, he went into the service. He went into the Army, and he dedicated his time to do what he really loved to do. And you know, we think about it and we go, oh, it was Jordan. You know, Jordan went, but you know what? Jordan had a mom, and Jordan has dad, and Jordan has two brothers, and you know, I interact with that family, and I see the amazing people that they are, and they raised an amazing son that chose the path that he chose to become a soldier. So this is something that Jordan's mom had sent to me today in our conversation, and she said Jordan gave his last breath truly believing he was saving me. My son's smile was infectious. He was soft-spoken and kind. I never heard him utter a negative word about anyone. He was always the first to say, "Everything will be okay, Mom. I love you." He loved the world. He wanted everyone to be happy. He believed that someday he could save us all, and in taking on that burden, he lost himself. I will carry on the joy he shared with others in his legacy, his legacy will not be about how he died, but how he lived life. And that came from Jordan's mom, and so I want to thank his mom, Tricia, and you know, for sharing that with me today, because it spoke volumes to me. And like I said, today is 3 years that we grieved the loss of Jordan, and 22 a day. So today, Chris and I are actually going to invite you guys to do something with us. You know, there's been all kinds of things that people do. They did the 22 push-ups, like we talked about, that Chris had done, and Debbie, and we actually drove from Texas to Oregon, and we made stops for 22 days doing the push-up challenge in honor of the 22. And so today, we wanted to really, in honor and dedicate this to Jordan, we're going to invite everybody to join us in the next 22 hours at some point to light a candle for 22 minutes today, and just say a prayer for Jordan's family and for the veterans and soldiers that are out there. If you're not a praying person, maybe just spend a few seconds or minutes in silence. But if you would be ever so willing to just join us over the next 22 hours, just 22 minutes, just light a candle and honoring the veterans and soldiers and those 22. You can, if you want, and you want to share that with us, you can share it on my page. You can post a little picture underneath. I don't think you can do that on live feed, can you?
I don't think you can post a picture. But I think one of the things that we'd like to see is that if you have one of the 22 that you'd like to be remembered, is to go ahead and leave a comment on this live feed, so that we can be thinking about your member of the 22, and other people on here can also be thinking about and honor your member of the 22 in your family. So yeah, because you can continue to leave comments on the live feed, and you know, long after it's not live anymore. And so we'd like to be able to see that, so that we can make sure to honor those people, and we can make sure to think about the families and remember them in our minutes. And
Chris and I actually have a YouTube, channel?
We have a YouTube channel.
And we're going to be posting this on there. If you go to Team Shoopman, that would be TEAMSHOOPMAN, under the YouTube, it'll bring up all of the series, or what are these called? Little clips that we do. And this one will be under there. So if you want to find us later because you can't remember something, or because maybe you want to add a family member or a friend or anything, one of the 22 to the page, we invite you to do that. And sometimes after we close out these, it's kind of
they go
hard
way
to
down.
go back. Hard to find us on Facebook again. So you can go to YouTube and you can put in Team Shoopman, and you can search for it, and you'll see it, because it'll have in honoring Jordan Blake Johnson, and you'll see that one. And I really invite you guys to go ahead and honor yours and dedicate in the comment section there.
Yeah, it's definitely not a waste of time for you to comment on there, because we do go through those comments and we read them, and we think about them, and we pray for y'all, and it's not something that when it's done here in a couple minutes, it's done. It's something that for a lot of people it's a way of life, and it's something that we do, and something that we keep in our memory all the time, and just not something that you just quit.
It does, yeah.
It doesn't just go away. You know, some of our back porch chronicles we talk about nonsense and drinking sweet tea, and this is not one of those subjects where we're just talking about nonsense and drinking sweet tea. This is real life.
So we want to just, once again, we want to remind everybody out there that if you do know a veteran or a soldier, don't forget to just pick up the phone and just say, how are you doing today? You don't have to have anything to talk about, because you know what, when you pick up the phone, we usually call each other because we have something to say. Don't let this be one of those moments. You don't have to have anything to say. All you have to say is, how are you doing today? That's all that matters, and you might save that life. You never know what they'll say to you. And so I encourage you, if you know a veteran or a soldier, you don't have to even think that they're struggling. How are you doing today, and thank you for your service. We owe that to them.
That's right. Sometimes throughout the day when we're working and we're real busy, we all of a sudden start thinking about somebody. And, you know, there's a reason why we're thinking about them. It's a lot of times it's not just because it just popped into our head. And there's been a lot of times in life when I thought about somebody and then I found out just a few days later that they were gone, be it, you know, from whatever reason, but they were gone. And I thought, dang it, I wish I would have called them. And I know for me that was God pointing to me saying, you know, pointing that person to me to that person, and I should have taken that time, and I've learned from that. And so one of the things I encourage is, regardless of what your beliefs are, that doesn't matter, but when follow your instincts, when you have that, you know, when you have that name pop in your head, just make that phone call, because you never know. You don't want to hear a couple days later, I wish I would have made that phone call. You don't want to be thinking that, because by then, you know, and when you make the phone call, you may never know. You know, you may never, ever know that you saved that person's life that day, but you very well may have. So that's just definitely one of the ways that you can honor a veteran. You can honor anybody, but you can honor a veteran is just, if you think about it, make the phone call and just, how are you doing today? Take them to lunch, take them to coffee, and listen. You don't have to know the words to say. A lot of times people talk and you don't know the words to say, and that's not what's important. What's important is that you listen, that you give them an ear to listen to. And if it might be more, you know, it might be more than you can, then you know what to say, or then you can handle. You can always point them in the direction of somebody else. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are there to listen to veterans. There's a lot of people out there that are willing to lend an ear. You know, sometimes you can't get through right away to the professionals, but you can always listen yourself, and you can always point somebody into the Veteran Suicide Hotline at 1-800-273-8255.
Absolutely. And if you're a veteran out there struggling, don't forget that number. Don't forget to call a friend. You are not alone. That IGY6, we're right here. Okay, IGY6, we got your back. And we do. We get phone calls, and we don't mind. We don't mind at all. But if you're a veteran, if you're a soldier, active, inactive, it doesn't matter. Please make sure that you reach out. If somebody's not reaching out to you, don't be ashamed. That just means that you are a very strong person. And, you know, we can't stress it enough. So I just want to reiterate what I said earlier. So, you know, last summer we drove from Texas to Oregon, and we stopped in all the states, and Chris did 22 push-ups to honor the 22. And it was really, some of it was just really emotional for us, actually. It's like some days hit us harder than others, and we would dedicate it to somebody that we knew. So this year, we are having a really rough time, and again, we're dedicating and honoring this whole video here for Jordan Blake Johnson. And we want to just invite you guys today, in the next 22 hours, it doesn't matter which 22 minutes that you choose, but within the next 22 hours, we would like for you to light a candle for 22 minutes in honoring one of the 22, all of the 22. If you're a praying person, just take a moment and say a prayer for them and their families, and for, you know, the soldiers and veterans that are still here. If you're not a praying person, just take a moment in silence and think about them. But for the next 22 hours, just take 22 minutes and light that candle, and just show support. And again, Chris said, you know, this video, we have a YouTube station channel. I don't know what it's called. He knows all that. I just say Anyways, we have a YouTube channel, and it's called Team Shoopman, Team Shoopman, Shoopman. So it's kind of like a ball team, and then our last name, so Team Shoopman, under YouTube. And you can find this video. We have all of our Back Porch Chronicle videos there, but this one you'll see which one it is, because this one is actually, we did label it honoring Jordan Blake Johnson. So you want to go under there. And if there is somebody that you want to honor that was one of the 22, please feel free to put their name and their date of birth and their rank below in the comment section. And again, we do go through there and we do see that. And we just invite you guys to join us for the next 22 hours in honoring the soldiers.
The other thing is we're coming up on Memorial Day, and Memorial Day is always a good day to honor people who are, honor people who are fallen. But say, just spend an extra minute for someone that's one of the 22 on Memorial Day. You see, Steve says he's going to be writing in his honor on Memorial Day, and we're actually going to be going to
the Run for the Wall. We leave on Thursday to head to Washington, D.C. It's something that we've wanted to do, and it's been on our bucket list, and so we're going to kind of halfway fulfill that. We really want to ride from our home to there, but we had some things that, he just had shoulder surgery, so he is not, his doctor won't let him ride all the way. So, but we did get his doctor to say that we could ride in Washington, D.C. So we want to be there and honor them. So we are going to be in Washington, D.C. Friday through Monday, actually Friday through Tuesday. We'll be doing the Run for the Wall and honoring those that have fallen. So that's what we're going to be doing.
I think that's it too.
Is that all we're doing?
No, there's a lot of stuff going on in Washington, D.C. and there's a lot of stuff goes on Memorial Day, and I think generally people think on Memorial Day about veterans who are fallen in the line of duty, but the 22 soldiers a day is way too many, and there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of work around making sure that number's reduced greatly. But I think Memorial Day is a good day to start doing that and carrying it on throughout the year. We don't do enough. We don't do enough. A lot of people do a lot, but as a society as a whole, we don't do enough. And like I said when we started out this video, we live in the greatest country in the world, and we live in the greatest country in the world because of our veterans. And we need to make damn sure that we take care of them when they come home. We need to make sure we're taking care of them while we're there, and we need to make sure we're taking care of their family while they're there. But when they come home, we need to make sure they're taken care of.
So don't forget, make that phone call, guys. So it's in the afternoon, and I'm sure everybody has things to do. I have been really emotional for the last 2 days, and I have a wonderful husband, because I called him and I said, he knows it, I called him and I said, I just need to use you, I just need to borrow your time for 20 minutes, and I came to his job site because I needed to reach out, and I know that he's my partner in everything I do, and he's always there, and we share this passion together. So I just want to again thank you all for joining. Remember, if you want to find this video and watch it, or you want to dedicate somebody in the comment section that was one of the 22, please do so. Please
Leave a comment with the person that you're honoring, because a lot of people will watch this and they can honor that person and they can honor that family, but we definitely want to be able to take time out of our day to honor that person and their family all year long. So please take time to do that. You can find it on the YouTube channel. It's a channel under Team Shoopman.
What's the difference between a channel and a station?
I don't have any idea. I don't know. I'm not that smart.
It is what it is.
I'm not a smart man.
Okay, so go ahead.
But I know what love is.
YouTube channel, Team Shoopman on the YouTube channel.
Yep, that's it. And you'll find this video with all the Back Porch Chronicles.
Yeah, but this one specifically. So again, for all you veterans and servicemen out there, we want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your service and for your courage. Thank you. I cannot say it enough. Thank you. For those that have joined, that are families of the 22, we want to reach out to you. We're sorry. We send our deepest condolences. We want to, we thank them for their service. They're heroes. They're heroes, no matter what. And for everybody else out there, don't forget, pick up the phone, call a veteran. How are you doing? And thank you for their service. That's all you got to say. For the rest of it, for the next 22 hours, just 22 minutes out of the next 22 hours, light a candle in memory of, or in honoring or dedication. So I think that's about it. I think that's really what we wanted to say today. And we thank you guys for joining. We thank everybody that had something to say. And when we do get off this live feed, people will join and they'll see that we're not on, but they want to say something. Please feel free to still comment or say something, because we'll go back and watch this later, because we're going to look for those names that y'all might be posting, or that you did the candle lighting. You can post pictures on my Facebook page, or you can post pictures on Chris's Facebook page. The candles that you may have lit, you can send it to us in private message. Any way you want to do it. We'd like to see pictures, and we'll definitely forward those to some of the families that we know that are families of the 22. So we want to thank you all. You all mean so much to us. Without you all, we wouldn't be here today. Right?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. But are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, but we just need to take 1 minute, and we need to thank Jordan Blake Johnson, and we need to thank Trisha Johnson, and we need to thank Chuck Pittman, and we need to thank Caden, and we need to thank Chandler. We love y'all.
Peace.